It recorded everything. People go start to come in just now.
This, you can't take off this.
Push this in your foot.
You can download after we finish.
Push this in your
Go
foot.
and download it and
I
upload
don't
it
want to play any
anywhere.
foot.
I can come right here, I come here, and so we can sit right next to come here.
So I'm recording already.
Come. Now, since it's your platform, make it away. Salutation,
You see people coming in. How are you thinking about it?
Can. I'll jump in there, you want to do it. You don't want to do it still. Select that a little bit. It's TikTok it easy.
I don't record in there.
You watching for the foot.
yeah. You want to come in, right? You want to come in? I'm not space, you know.
That's not. But I'm bring it back here and I'll give it a function.
Right here.
Since it's your platform, you know, function. Salutation.
Can. Again, everybody.
Shalom, shalom, Yasharala.
Shalom.
We are a couple of brothers from the Trinidad GMS camp coming to you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And the title of the lesson is Tightening the Chains. You know? And we're going to be touching on what those chains are, what it represents, and what it means to tighten the chains. So before we start the lesson, we must always remember to give all honor, all glory, all praises to Yahweh,
Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Kakadash.
We give double honors to the apostles, prophets, and teachers of great millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the sincere Akim and Aqua who are following this truth in all diligence and all sincerity. So, anyone of the brothers want to start?
You can. A little bit on tightening of the chains is really going into, you know, you understanding what the chains is first to begin with. Right? I don't know if you can get that piece up. Look at it. I believe it's the book of Jude. Where it talks about the chains of darkness. Right? That is what you're really doing, you're tightening them chains. Bring it out, Baba.
It's Jude 1:6. It says, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he had reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. And you know, a Christian will read that and anybody will read that and they will triple apply it. Talking about, you know, Satan and his angels being bound under the earth past it now that time. But that is not so. That is the angel, right? We are those angels when we are part of the Lord's elect. Now Israel was in a high state, being in heaven, and they were brought low. Just like Yahushai, Adam, he was that first man, right? Being brought to the knowledge, come down in this body and have it a body, right? And also go through a certain amount of time incarnation in this flesh, and his soul was the sons of God after. That is why when he sinned, Ezra said, what hast thou done, Adam? It's not you alone fall when you sin, but the sons of God as well. We bound in this chain of darkness. I know if you want to explain on it as well.
Yeah, and the chains of darkness, just showing you that what chain does do, a chain does hold on something, a chain does bound here. Tie. So what the Lord really saying too is that we chain down in this chain of darkness is the spirit, the body. You understand? The body and what the word darkness represent, darkness going into sin, going into corrupt. These bodies and this flesh is corrupt. You understand? It's subject to sin and vanity. Man, any best state is vanity. You understand? So that's what these bodies prone to. Now when the title of the video says to put chains, to tighten them chains, is because now we have to know that there's no room for mistake anymore. There's no time for we to, in this time in where we live in here, to make mistakes. And we know that there's no such thing as mistakes, but everything is predestinated, but there's no more time for that. It's time to hold back that now. It's like you're holding back a pit bull. a massive pit bull, you understand? You're holding back that, but you're holding it a little more force, right? That is what the Hebrews that the brother just read, right? To bring it back up.
If I can touch on
Can.
when Paul was saying the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, you know, we have to bring the flesh under subjection to the spirit. So it will depend on what you feed more. If you feed the flesh, you're going to reap the things after the flesh. But when you feed the spirit, you reap the things after the spirit, and you put the flesh under subjection. So in this time period and time frame we in, where Yahushua about to make his appearance, it is even more crucial in this time to bring these flesh under subjection to the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
The term we constantly use among the body, more spirit, less
Less
flesh.
flesh. Yeah.
You know, Brother Caleb just say, feed your faith,
Starve
starve
your
your
doubts
doubts.
to death.
That's
Yeah.
probably the only good thing Christians ever said. Or feed your faith and starve your doubts to death, you know. Beside your feed is what's going to dominate. What the scripture say? As a man sow it, that shall he reap.
And that is it. I'm going to get the meaning of subjection here real quick. The word, this is the meaning for the word subjection. It says obedience, submission, servitude, bondage. So yeah, we know that we already, our flesh subjected to a certain type of way to live. That's why the Lord say that he tempted no man, but a man is drawn away by his own lust. Because when you ask the question, if it is not the Lord, who it is making these things happen to us, if not the Lord? Is the Lord making it happen? But he not tempting you to do it. He made your flesh that way. So your flesh now subjecting unto these things, to lust, to vanity, to this, to that, and now that your flesh doing that, you have to put tighter chains on it. Knowing the state of your flesh, walk in the spirit, therefore you wouldn't fulfill the lust of the flesh. Scripture says.
Scripture also said the Heavenly Father would suffer us to be tempted above that which we're able to bear, and with the temptation, he make a way of escape.
Right, and that now, the brother just quoted, that is leading closer to Jacob's trouble and to the mark. Because now if you get overtaken by temptations and your loss in this time in here, what's going to happen for the great time when you really need it? Where it says wisdom and knowledge will be stability at your times. Them are the times you really need it. You're gathering it up right now. So when that time comes, you could use it wisely. If you're giving in now, what about for that time?
It's Luke 21 and 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, so that they come upon you unawares.
Unawares. You even know. You understand? You're so caught up in your flesh and your lust that these things come on you unawares. But the Lord say what? He say, ye are not in dark. You are not the children of the darkness. Ye brethren are not in darkness. Right? For we are the children of the light. So therefore we have to function like the children of the light. Because the children of the light, they have foresight. And if you have foresight, I don't expect you to be seeing a train coming and not moving out of the way. The foresight gives us the ability to know something is coming, prepare for it. Now, if you could, let me just get it, as I on it right now, let me just get the meaning of prepare. Because the yappa, when you go into words, when you go to the etymology of certain words, right? Right, this is the meaning for the word prepare. Right, it says set in order or readiness for a particular end. That is what the word prepare means. Isn't it? Set in order or readiness for a particular end. And what we preparing for? What we setting up in order for what particular end? The words don't lie. The Bible don't confirm itself. We setting up for a particular end, and the end is the end of this time, Esau time. That is the end we setting up for. The end of this wicked place. We getting ready for a time where you know, Lord gonna turn it up loud on these wicked motherfuckers. You understand? The Lord looking to turn it up on everybody because they wasn't prepared. They didn't set an order. They wasn't readiness for this particular time. You understand? They wasn't ready. So if with them not being ready, everything coming to them unaware, as the brother just read.
It's 2 Peter 3 and 14, I was at 13, it says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. Because, as you see, we're preparing for Yahushua coming, the return of our Lord, the bridegroom. So you have to be ready. You understand? Like the 10 virgins.
That's
Right?
it.
5 were foolish
Wise, yeah.
and 5 were wise. The 5 them, they wasn't prepared for Yahushua coming. And a cry was made. Right? The bridegroom coming. So you want to be ready. Because he come back. And when he comes, you see, and I always bring it out, he want to see himself. He want to see his image in you. You want to see himself. When he come, you must be in his image without spot. He was without spot. In Yahushua incarnation, Yahushua didn't have a woman. Right? He wasn't no distraction. He was on a purpose, on a mission to fulfill what the Heavenly Father set for him. And he makes sure and finish it. Right? The scripture says in Hebrews 4, we'll pull that real quick. Hebrews 4 and 15. Hebrews 4 and 15 it says, for we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. So he was going through the same temptation as just like us. And he come out spotless. So we have to come out spotless, being that we waiting on Yahushua return.
Yeah, because we have a perfect example.
Yes.
Brother Alva.
There's a precept that says, if thou faint in the day of adversity,
Thy strength is weak, small. Same thing. You
And
know?
this is why we rehearse the righteous act,
This is thinking about
to build up that strength. Right? Because just like, remember we was having the conversation earlier about the gymming, where you start gymming, you will start off with a 25-pound weight, and with time, you're able to realize, all right, it become easier now, my muscle
Push more.
has become acclimatized to the weight, I can increase it, and they keep increasing it. There's the purpose of temptations and trials that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai allowed to come upon us. Now, everyone is not waiting or looking for the second coming. They claim to be servants of Yahushua, but they're hoping he hold off for God to come in the next 10 years, but I still want to build this house, always dream or what this car. But there's where Paul was saying in 2 Timothy 4, 7 and 8, I have fought a good fight, I have finished my course, I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Master, the righteous judge, shall give to me that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing. Right now, 2/3 and the rebels of our people, they don't want Yahushua to come. It's only the elect looking forward for that second return. And Paul was very specific when he said that it's not only him, because Paul was looking forward for that great day. The elect today, Lord's willing, we are among that. This is what we're looking forward to. This is why we labor diligently. As the scripture says, you examine yourself daily to see if you're in the faith. Because it's a constant checking on yourself.
Yeah.
You're as a ship.
So like, the scripture say, talk about washing, right? Washing, how can a man cleanse himself by the washing of the water of the word? And as long as we're in this flesh, we're going to need our washing. So the examination on a daily, the work on a daily, right? They have a saying in the world, all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. Right? So there's a balance set. So at the end of the day, the scripture also says that they seek to weary the saints. So knowing that this is not our final estate, knowing that this is not what the Lord desires for us, it wearisome to the flesh. So we have an anticipation for the Lord to come to take us out of this bondage, to take us out of this low estate.
That is it. And that's why I say we have a perfect example, which is Yahushua. Bring it to one time.
Hebrews 12 and 2, looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of Yahweh.
Yeah. despising the shame, and that is it. A lot of people, well, we see people can't even take the shame right now.
Okay.
And the scripture says there's a shame that bringeth
Glory.
glory, and there's a shame that
Bringeth sin.
bringeth sin. Now we know that shame that bringeth glory is what Yahushua was striving for, because when he said take that last sip at that vinegar, what was the words? It is done, it is finished. That is the words we want to be able to say. You head on the guillotine, you don't want to go out bad. We want to pray that you even have the strength to reach on that guillotine. Because we could say anything now, but to have that strength that we reach on the guillotine and we head.
No pressure applied.
Yeah, and then
When
we
the
say,
pressure applied is when,
the last words, it is finished. And then your head go on, swing. You yappa. Because the dead shall rise and once you first. We didn't focus really on
understanding.
yeah. We didn't really focus on this world too much, but we focus on making it. You understand? We had a focus. So the pressure that apply within first, you had to rebuke yourself. You had to constantly put that pressure on yourself. Tighten that chain. If you don't change that darkness, you tighten that chain a little bit more now, because I don't know if you remember the precept, yeah. Take them out earnest seed.
Hebrews 2 and verse 1. Therefore we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard.
So you hear it say, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things that we have heard. Everything that you learn on your walk, on your journey to this part in your life where you're in the truth now, everything was for you to be as it is, was to build you up. You understand? And now that you have all this knowledge and all this wisdom, you understand? It's not for you to get puffed up, or it's for you to have, as brother was saying earlier on, muscle memory. Something like muscle memory, where your body is supposed to naturally do things of the truth, of the Lord, of the Spirit. You understand?
For example, 3 videos in 1 week. That should be a problem.
That should be natural.
Natural, and it's supposed to be willing to do that.
Yeah, that's supposed to be not supposed to be a strain on you to do your work.
That's a reasonable sacrifice you should just speak about.
Yeah, like for instance, not to think too much, but for instance, a brother come and meet me at a certain location. He just hear me say that I lack in something. I just ask right? Within himself, he don't know, alright, this brother lacking something. Right? Within himself, he said, this brother lacking something. Let me see about this brother. And likewise for me. Because now we understand that is what the Lord, that is the Lord you're doing it unto. The Lord lacking something, you give it unto him.
Sorry, what I was saying just now, that you minimum 2 videos a week. The scripture says, don't let the commandments be grievous. Because he commanded that. All the command coming from the apostle. That wasn't just from the apostle. These commands is coming from the heavens. Right? You don't have a precept to say that. Because we ought to do this work. Yahushua was doing this work daily. You lucky they didn't say, hey, video a day.
Yeah, show me where you see 3 videos a day in the scriptures. That is nonsense. You understand?
Precept here is 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 5. It says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of power, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach.
That is it. And not, that's why the brother say, not only the scriptures alone, but also the apostles on down. The Lord talk about the apostles' doctrine. The Lord talk about great men. You understand? And these men are the men.
And if I could add, dealing with the 3 videos a day, a week, Salakia, a week. If you have been in this truth for a while, just like gymming, there comes a time where your body already acclimatized to the 25 pounds. And it reaches the point where the body no longer gaining from the 25. So what you have to do, you have to up the ante. You can't stay stagnant. If you're staying comfortable, like you say for instance, doing 3 videos a week, then something wrong, you're not growing. This whole truth is about growth, progression. You can't be stagnant.
Then you would have pleased you, I believe.
Yeah.
So you took up your
That's alright, that. You know, you have to strive. Strive for the mark of the higher calling. So you should always try to do a little more than what you did the day before.
Yeah.
Two
You know?
precepts.
Yeah.
Well, I have a couple precepts here.
Well, pull a chair for him.
And as the apostle said yesterday on his works, that's why men follow because they don't take this as, make fun with this. They like it grievous to them now to do the things we commanded to do. We can't make it grievous. We love doing this.
And you hear what you just said? Grievous for a man to do something that pleasing the Heavenly Father.
Right.
How can that be grievous? That's not supposed to be grievous unto you. Now, you make it grievous unto yourself because you're out of practice, you're out of pushing. It's like the brother say you're bench pressing 25 and that's all you want to bench press. You don't want to up it. You don't want to bench press 35, 45. You understand? You don't want to go up.
Well, then you won't get muscles.
You understand? You
That's
won't get
something.
muscles.
That's something, Salah.
You won't get testosterone.
Can, so with understanding.
You get testosterone, you have
Salah.
to lift heavy.
Have a precept too.
Can-
Revelations 2:4. Nevertheless, I am somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. And men forget that first love, that joy when they first feel when they come into the knowledge of this truth. Somehow along the way, life stresses.
Well, the challenge of being in the truth overall. Right, because you prepare yourself for temptation. What's the name of this?
Tightening the cheeks.
So when I add now, the apostle talking about pushing the 25. There's some men that just push, and as they get a little increase, they doesn't want to push any further, so they just call it plateau. So you just stay right there and you can't go any further.
Can.
You plateau right there and you ain't going no
You keep
further,
right
and
there,
and you just give up. So that's some men they go in gym, and all they're doing is bench press and arms. And the shoulder, the chest looking
and
big,
come
and
on,
the
looking
legs
well,
skinny.
Well, that is out of proportion.
Can.
But the plateau mean you reach your plateau is flat.
Yeah.
You reach the top of the mountain.
Can't go no more.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, really and truly, now you come out of the gym looking weird.
Like a Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, that's
your body
itself.
big so on top, but your legs them tiny because you didn't want to really do all that sort of work. You just wanted to get your hands big.
That's not important to you. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can go do it.
I out of balance, right?
And this year is a marathon, as brothers like to say. Being in the street is a marathon, and not a sprint. Like if you're liking it onto working out, you have to work out your whole body. You understand?
Men tend to get weary when they feel the pain come in different parts of the
Suction.
body,
Just the camera going like live.
Yeah, that's like one of my brothers, right? We was doing a workout session, and he was telling me, he said, now you don't stop when it is you start to feel the pain. When you start to feel the pain, do 10 more. He was working out, right? And we was bench pressing, and he said, he said, Yakal, do 50. I reach 50 now, my hands start to get weak. He said, do 10 more. I said, 10 more? I said, I'm going to do the 10 more, and do the 10 more now. And that is when you already feel it, because you don't give up when you feel any burn.
Push.
That's when you have to push, as you race.
And that's when they put off your weak nature.
Right.
So that's why you say no, 2 is better than 1. Right? Somebody can get that piece up from me in the meantime. It's Philippians chapter 2 verse 14. It says, for he that is our peace. Sorry, that is Ephesians. Philippians 2 and 14. Do all things without murmuring and disputings, that ye may, now what's that verse 6? For it is power which worketh in you, both to will and to do of his good pleasure. It says, do all things without murmurings and disputings, that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of power, without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world. Right, because he's talking about that earlier on, right? That doing it, the 3 videos a day mustn't be, a week mustn't be grievous, and even if it came down to a mandatory 1 video a day, right, it mustn't be grievous. But what the scripture say, Romans 10 and 15 say, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace. And where's the peace? The end of this, what the Lord said, he give you a comforter, give me St. John chapter 14 verse 27. St. John 14 and 27.
It's in John 14 and 27. Peace I leave with you.
Right?
My peace I give unto you.
Uh-huh.
Not as the world giveth.
Not as the world give it. So when the world peace, each other's going to does go into other nations, take over the nations, take over the resources, enslave the fucking people, right? Put crime inside there, oppression, in the name of peace.
And then offer peace. You know that you take off the sanctions, you will build an embassy, so you'll be under the protection.
Iraq. Saddam Hussein had what? WMDs. That was a mass destruction. So in the name of peace, we're gonna go inside there and I forget the word that is used, right? But they went inside there with a military force. They found no weapons of mass destruction, right? Saddam was hiding for life. They take him and they hang him or they kill him, however they kill him, right? That's what they do, they murder him. Gaddafi wanted to unite the African nations, right? They kill him. Bin Laden never get a fair trial. They kill him under everybody we see, so-called, right? These lies, these are all in name of peace against what terrorism. When he is the real terrorist, he's the only terrorist on the planet, right? So what the Lord said, my peace I give unto you, not as the world give it, right? At the end of this, our people have what? Rest. Because the scripture said, arise and depart, which word arise means palm, rise up, arisen, you know, from that dead state, you know. When the Lord spoke life into what it was the girl who had died, right? The impotent man, Peter, right? Rise up, right? And walk. The man with the shriveled arm, right? Is a rising up, is a life, is a rising up, right? The Lord said, peace I give unto you. This is not our rest. When you look at the word rest, it means quietness. We have no quietness in this place, right? We are what? We oppressed on every side. There's a spiritual attack, a physical attack. Your fucking glory, your peace, your pillar of rest is your enemy. The scripture says, she that is my enemy. The scripture says, not to even speak to pillow talk. Your wife or your bosom, you're not supposed to even pillow talk with her because she's your enemy at the end of the day. She's the weaker vessel. Satan attacked Eve. The scripture said, Adam was not in transgression, but Eve was in transgression. She was a weaker vessel. Right? So, understanding all these different things, putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, right? We don't have rest. But at the end of it, we will have peace, we will have rest, we will have protection from all these nations, we have dominion over these nations, over the beasts of the field, over every spirit on the earth. As a nation, we're going to have that peace. And the planet is going to have that peace because the world is going to be ruled in righteousness. I'm starting with Yahweh Shah. I'm starting with Yahweh Shah. I'm starting with Yahweh Shah.
One, four, four. Yeah, back to back. Yeah. So these things that the Lord they're showing you that He there with you. There's nothing to be continue we finish it out, right? It says persecuted but not forsaken, cast down but not destroyed. That is how you know. Because we cast down but we're not destroyed, He didn't destroy it. It's like a plant. Right? If you cut the plant, you have a chance. If you water the plant, it will grow back. But if you root out the plant completely, you're sure you mash up that plant.
Is it?
And that's what the Lord do to we. We getting watered since our Bivens time to now. Water, we being watered. The breath the Lord breathe back into we. So you know the truth spread, and you know it's something that we have to take serious in this time. And you know, now's not the time for mistakes and this and that. As the title of the video is, we tightening the chains. Tighten them chains on yourself.
I'll present it back up very quick. Right? Though the root thereof, Job 14 and 7. For there is hope of a tree, if it be cut down, that it will sprout again, and that the tender branch thereof will not cease. Though the root thereof wax old in the earth, and the stock thereof die in the ground, Yet through the scent of water it will bud and bring forth boughs like a plant. Right? And basically that's an allegory speaking about Israel. Right? Because we died, men, what the scripture say, while men slept, the enemy planted out that seed. Right? So we died as a nation full of wisdom, knowledge, understanding, as the scripture in Lamentation said, is this the people that they call the perfection of beauty. We're going back to Deuteronomy chapter 4, so when we kept the law, statutes, and commandments, one nation had a God so nigh unto them that he gave them these laws, statutes, and commandments. We were beautiful back then. But then we get cut down because what we broke it, we broke the covenant, we broke the laws, we became a degenerate branch. Right? We get cut off. But now instead of, and this is what Esau can understand. Esau had these, many men pick up the book, they pick up the scriptures, and all the Lord say, what has thou to do with my law? You can understand, you had Billy Graham, that big tele-evangelist, pushing Christianity for years. But you dead fuck didn't understand that the Spirit of the Lord trump all that. Right? Because the water is this living water that proceeded out to the throne of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, proceeded to what? Is Revelation 22 and 1. Right? John the Revelator saw it. The throne, somebody get that real quick? Revelation 22 and verse 1.
Revelation 22 and verse 1. And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal.
Clear as what?
Clear as crystal.
What Habakkuk said. Write it up on tables and make it plain so that reader shall run. It's clear. Right? This is water of life. It's clear. This is what we have. What Vocab Malone fighting against with these Christians, Ron Dalton and all these weirdos are popping up. You rich. Man, fuck you on your money. Will a rich man enter into the kingdom of Zion? You understand? Fuck you on your money, you die with your money. You don't fool.
That's right.
You don't require your soul tonight. You understand? The grim reaper coming for you, the mighty ones, they're coming for you tonight. You should just say, leave the tears to grow the wheat. Right? Until what? The harvest is right. Until what? The reapers come. Right? Which is the angels. Right? The Lord will require your soul. You fucking gonna do that money because even Nathan they call them as bombs. Right? You have all that money. And you see in your brother in need, destitute, and you're mocking him. You're mocking your maker. You claim to be a man of the Lord. You don't know that guys in the scripture. Law. That in the scripture. He doesn't mock the poor. I forget what it's called. He basically provoking the Heavenly Father. You're getting him angry. Right? Yeah, finish this out. Yeah, Revelation 21.
It says, proceeding out of the throne of Yahweh and of the Lamb.
They proceeded from the throne of Yahweh and the Lamb. So that's the water of life. That's the living water. It says Psalms 1 and 3. Psalm 2. What is delight is in the law of the Lord. Now Psalm 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, which the ungodly there is Esau and Edom, the wicked. Right? Same word in the Hebrew Rashad. Right? Guilty one, guilty of a crime. Nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitting in the seat of the scornful. Well, for example, we don't enter that. We have a prime minister. The prime means the first minister. The word minister means to serve. Right? He should be serving Israel. But you know what he's doing? He's serving himself and his interests. Right? The politicians, they fattening up themselves. Right? When this man tell us during the pandemic, right? As a nation or a country, don't put it as a country, nationality goes into race, race, and ethnicity. Right? So you tell the country, you need to tighten up your belt. And he ensured that his salary increase, the politician's salaries increase, the magistrates and the judges' salaries increase, and also their pensions increase. Right? The only person who is tightening up is him and his interests. But the people suffering, you know what? Simultaneously happen at the same time. Parallel to that was the increase in crime. Because the people are suffering. Right? So this is a wicked and ungodly society. You understand? Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. And in his law doeth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Right? And also to the coming back to the tree.
To the tree, yeah.
When it comes down to the root. You see, because what? Because Israel, even though we didn't know we were Israel, right? We were still of the stock of the seed of Jacob. So that when the waters flow, right? It rose up. It sprung forth. So that's why when we hear the stories of high priest Yaakov would have tell Arya and would have tell Apostle the apostles come on down that the limousine pull up and the leader might jump out and say, hey, how did you all get this? We spent millions to hide it. You understand why? Because the scriptures explain why. Because we were that tree cut down. We were cut down. Right? The scriptures say we are people robbed and spoiled. But then when that water started to flow, that living water, right? In the streets, not hidden in a corner, but in the streets, you couldn't deny it. Right? All the sheep came into the sheep fold. Came to the sheep, they said, brother, shepherd would they follow? My sheep hear my voice. You understand? So they can't fight against this world.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get a precept here I called before. Proverbs 17:5. Whoso mocketh the poor, reproacheth his maker.
You reproach your Hashem Yahushai. Because the scripture say, he live amongst you a poor and something nation.
Poor and afflicted
A
people.
poor and afflicted people. Poor. Right? Revelation 2 and 9. Thou art poor. I know that tribulation and my poverty, but thou art rich. I know the blasphemy of them will say they are Jews, but they are not. Right? So who's the people who are really in poverty? Who live in hand to mouth? Or I'm not even live in hand to mouth. You live in by the grace of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. According to the scriptures, give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our trespasses.
Yeah.
You know, this is how we live.
Who's the ones fitting the curses?
And the blessings.
And the blessings.
Who's the one putting the prophecies concerning the prophets? Right? What the prophets would be doing, how they would be. Right? Not because you by your might you travel to Smyrna and all these different places all over the world means that you're a prophet or you're an apostle. The apostles did this, no. Spiritually, what did the apostles do? You see, the spirit before the body is you, a body is dead, is inanimate without a spirit. But the spirit now, which is the pure wisdom of life, everything have a spirit. Darkness have a spirit. Death have a spirit. Life have a spirit. Light have a spirit. Colors have a spirit. Because spirit go back into vibration. Vibration will bring you back down to a frequency. The frequency is measured in hertz. One of the frequencies of life is green. The color green have a frequency of 530 to 600 hertz. Right? There's a frequency of life. Right? They have different colors on the spectrum, they have different frequencies, and they bring forth life. The frequency for health and healing, I think is around between 432 hertz. To health and to heal, to restore.
And we see that's the first Adam was natural, and the second Adam was a quickening spirit.
Quickening spirit.
And then
Bring
he
it
had
to life.
Yeah,
Bring it
that
to
one.
life.
That garment, that barrel.
That barrel, green.
Green.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Anybody?
Is 2 Timothy 2:3 it says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua Mashiach. No man that worth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. Right? You gotta be that soldier, and a soldier who could stand alone. If you could stand alone, I mean you gotta put in your work in your walk. It's supposed to say iron sharpen iron. Right? So sometimes we need that strength from our brother. We lean on our brother for that strength. When we get our strength, when we get our heat, you start functioning again and doing that work. And you're not tangling yourself with the affairs of the stuff. Like brother said, that tighten them chain. You see all the distraction that coming in this life right now? You're trying to ignore it. Walk that walk like Yahushua. I mentioned earlier, Yahushua had no wife. He didn't study all this thing in his last carnation. This is all last carnation. We ain't coming in no third and fourth again now. Or we know we speeding up time as well. We ain't coming in no carnation again. This is all last carnation.
Yeah,
So you have to make sure and finish the race.
I personally do not believe we have 50 years in this place again.
Come
I
on.
do not
Discipline,
believe
sir.
that. That's my personal
It's
belief.
still plenty, you see that?
50 years, but I just saying that because we really hasten for the Lord to come. You understand?
10 years is plenty.
10 years is still plenty.
Can't.
5 years is
5 years is plenty. I say 50 because that's something I'm sure that I could believe. You understand? You understand? Because really actually prophecies taking place indicating the last.
Can't.
You understand?
See the logic.
This is Ecclesiastes 4 and 9. Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he had not another to help him up. And then when the apostles always talk about IUIC having a dictatorship and not a leadership. Right? When you have a leadership, if you make a mistake, right, and you have a brother there, a sincere brother, instead of him trying to take his seat, right, because we have envy and strife, so the scripture say, some preaching will for contention sake, envy and strife, maliciousness, ill will, as soon as they fall, he's going off, he's going off. But the scripture say, if he doesn't in the spirit, restore such an one. So you come, maybe you'll come around because we supposed to be humble enough, especially here at Greatness. So, hey brother, that off, you change your breakdown. Oh shit, I probably missed that. You understand? And we continue to move and build, but we building in sincerity and in truth. Right? It says, for if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he had not another to help him up. The brother had a dream on Netanya, whole congregation coming against him and dealing him some blows. You understand? And it will be, rightfully so, through the spirit, you can see these things, the apostles saying that, was it King Marshall or High Priest, saying that, I could see it, like you could see what the scripture say, 2/3 one die. You can see the 2/3 die because these fuckers just wicked. So like, excuse my French, but these 2/3 out here wicked. They had a carnival or a party during a hurricane, a scourge of the Lord. Right? The first time recorded that in the eye of the hurricane, you seen lightning. Right? These people don't take nothing serious, but through the spirit, the most time moving your part. Right? You touch on the islands, he get all the touch. I see that in 7 people die perfect amount of people die. 7. Perfect morning. Right? So that when it come full blast, right? You can't say it happened in one. Right? Because when they get away with it once, they will do it twice.
Ecclesiastes 8 and 11.
And Prophet Adam is saying is because our people, 2/3 of our people, right? They heaping that sin on sin and knowing that they're not repenting, so that means the spirits them not coming off, but the spirits going and coming out and bringing other unclean spirits and multiplying the amount of demons on them. So with all that demons on them, all of them coming down to these last times, they're gonna see more malfunctioning, more craziness, more deaths. The Lord gonna be getting rid of them differently now.
Precept, please.
Yes, Ecclesiastes 4 and 11. And again, if two lie together, then they have peace. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And threefold cord is not quickly broken.
And that is it. Just to add, you see that precept, but sometimes when I read that, I just feel like the continuing and that is this year. So Rock 37, let's read it real quick. It says, be continually with a godly man. 37 and 12. So Rock 37 and 12, it says, be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry. So now, that precept is saying that if it is, you end up in a situation, that brother will help you. But if you're by yourself, who there is to help you? No, you don't tell me in this instance here, be with a godly man who you know keeping the commandments. It's not that I'm here with anybody here, with a godly man who you know keeping the commandments. commandments, he will sorrow with you if you miscarry. He gonna take you out of that ditch. He gonna bring that heat, as the brother just read. You understand? That is what you really need around here in this time, to light that fire. You understand? Even watching videos, because I don't understand if you understand not watching videos.
Come by here.
Fit come my hearing and hearing what? The word. By hearing, certain thing I'm hearing a video will make me do a video or make me change something that I was doing about myself or something.
The scripture saying John 15:3, Yahushua said, "Now you are clean with the words that I spoken unto you." So what do they hear it? And when you hear, you apply it, as James said, you do as the word. Not just
Do
hear
as
as
can.
only deceiving yourself. You're applying it as well.
Exactly.
If I may say, when men do videos, it is that is bring something that is heat you up, you know. You just get spark up and say, hey, yeah, boy, just pray that you know it causes you to do a video now. So doing videos is very important. And other men looking at other men videos is important also.
Looking at videos is important as doing videos, right? And even that shows how important, how powerful the Holy Spirit is. Because it's truly rim. You understand? Through the modern day, you get through a phone, a device here, but a 1,000 miles away, and you can hear something through the Spirit, and it's sparking that how powerful the Holy Spirit is. You understand?
This is the book of Luke, chapter 22, and verse 32. It says, "But I have prayed for thee, and thy faith fail not, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy virtue." So, once you're doing your work, as you're reading, studying, praying, fasting, the Lord sup with you, right? You're going to be converted to the understanding of the Lord. And you bring forth a lesson and you teach. And your lesson might be just what a brother needs to hear.
At the right
When you
time.
look at the word converted, it's Strong's G 1994. F.E. Streffel. F.E. Streffel. It says, one to worship of the true God, to cause to be, to cause to return, to bring back to the love and obedience of God, to love wisdom and righteousness. Right? Strong's definition: to revert literally, figuratively, or morally. Come again, convert, return, go about. Right? So the lessons. This is how it. This is how it becomes living water. Right? Because I might be reading the same thing you're reading, or the Spirit might lead me to read the same thing and more. Or I might go into a word, or you might go into a word. For this past week here, I would have seen that I was reading the book of 2 Corinthians, right? What the Lord would have revealed unto me through study. I saw it come out in Dallas Road. I was like, as the Spirit I acknowledge it. Because I just learned that lesson this week. You understand? So that was just an example. Not speaking about myself, that was just an example.
Yeah, that wisdom.
This is how you get the living water. Right? You have to do work, put out work, watch other men's work, and be admonished. Grow. Right? And not just be stagnant. Right? Not just be stagnant. It's not stagnant waters is where that lies. You have dengue fever, you have cholera, right? You have in stagnant waters, but in living waters, flowing waters, what you have life.
And that you have to, because that was the script that we brought out earlier on, talk about you're leaving room for things to come in now. That stagnant water leaving room for mosquitoes to come and that bring that lava and do what they want, and then the water start to get dirty. But that constant running water leaving room for nothing, anything come and wash out and gone. You understand? The Spirit always moving is like you constantly practicing, like in the world, right? The scripture talk about a corruptible crown. They striving for what? A corruptible crown. They striving and they trying their best to be the best basketballer and for a medal and for money or whatever. But I don't know if you can get that precept talking about that corruptible crown. It talks about running the race, but it really talk about the corruptible crown. I think the brother might know the precept. right? They that strive for masteries now,
So,
right? Because really and truly, with this moving word that the brother just talk about, what we doing is really striving, you know. It's for crown we heading for, you know. But the mastery is not corruptible. We don't want no medal, we don't want no money, we don't want no house and car. That's what they doing it for. Them doing it for that. But what we doing it for is that after all this, we get the kingdom, eternal life. We get to really and truly live. Yeah.
First fruit.
We get to live good in a good place where we don't worry. Well,
It's Ecclesiastes 4 and 13. That there is a poor and a wise child, and an old and foolish king, who will no more be admonished. For out of prison he cometh to reign. Whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor. So who born in his kingdom? Esau. Right? Who is that child? The scripture says no man can come to the Father unless he come as one of these little children. Right? So we are the children here, we are the child here now. In this case, in this part of the show. Right? They're gonna be admonished, they're gonna be taught. They're gonna grow up. They're gonna be nurtured. Because this truth is a nurturing. Now after you're nurtured as a child, you drink the milk. Right? You creep, you crawl, you walk, and then you run.
that's it.
Right? So the scripture says, we run in a race. Running a race.
Wow, you going, bro? 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24 onward. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize?
Right.
So run that ye may obtain.
Run that you may obtain. That is the whole thing about it. Run. You run in. You hear the voice? You run. You understand? You're doing your work. Do what you do. Do as much as you have to do. You know that everything that applies to salvation is what you are to exercise on. It's like the workout. Because I was telling my brother the other day, I said I like your routine. Because his routine is constant. It's not stopping. You bench press, you do some X's, you do some behind your neck, watching the routine, and I say I like the routine. Now what the Lord telling him to also is run. Everything that put into salvation, apply it. If it is you have to focus on charity, work on charity. You know charity, they do not add to you. Humility, you add that to yourself too.
The oil is of wisdom.
Right?
Yeah. When I say so symbolically, an anointing, a libation of an oil of understanding, concerning humility, the oil of understanding, concerning charity, the oil of understanding, concerning, you know?
And you can't go wrong with adding them things onto you. You cannot go wrong. You could only get better. You could only be a better servant to the Lord by adding these things onto you.
Come and say to talk about a race, right? And in a race, we know there's not a 100 meter, 200 meter marathon. It's a marathon. But when you come along to the end of the race in a marathon, that is when you push.
Yeah.
And when you go hard.
Yes.
And you should just measure the time diligently in itself. So we measure the time so we know what time. And we know we are the last. We can feel it in the spirit as well. So we know it's to run hard now. And do all we can do now.
When we was talking about the stagnant water, if you notice with stagnant water, there are certain creatures attracted to that stagnant water. And these creatures carry some of the deadliest diseases we know. Now, you don't have to drink that stagnant water for it to affect your body. But if you simply put your hand in it, whether you have a cut or just your skin, remember your skin is like the largest organ, and it absorbs things. You could get sick. Same thing in this truth. If you take certain things for granted and you become stagnant in this walk, it has certain behavior, certain traits, just like these abominable creatures, what attracted to the stagnant water, will attach itself to you.
That is them spirits. That way the Lord say, walk up, be continually in the spirit so you wouldn't fulfill the lust of the flesh. Because if you constantly flowing and you constantly in the spirit, you can't attract them things. You constantly talk about the man same way, you can't attract them things. Because brother watching you and hey where's that off. Then you know one time that off. Or he things. So you and even forsaking the assembly is a big thing. You see you don't want to be around brothers, you don't want to be around men of the Lord who constant, that is crazy. Because being around these men is who gonna reproof you, correct you, make sure you're straight, make sure you're good. These men gonna constantly have your back. The right way as well too. Right?
I read verse 25.
Can't.
And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
Yeah, and that temperate. That's what. Going to that word temperate of Apusha. That word temperate is a big part of that precept. Every man that's striving to be a master in whatever craft he doing is temperate.
We want this temperate.
Yeah,
Can't.
temperate.
Temperate is G1467. It says, Enkratio I can't pronounce that. It says to be self-controlled,
Can't. Well,
continent, to exhibit self-government.
right, so we will pause at that. Self-control. Every man that's striving to be a master at something, he had to have control within whatever field it pertains to him. Now, a man who want to be best basketballer, he can't be a wild playing in the streets like how we would have, like how we would want to do that. Because he had to maintain himself, he could damage himself. A man who are them basketballers, they can't go around sleeping with any woman unprotected or whatever, because they have to maintain the self within basketball. They have to do certain things, you know. Discipline, they have to discipline themselves with certain things. Now a man at law now, because when you finish it, then I'll come back to that. Let's finish the piece about that.
Right. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
Right?
Now they do it to obtain a corruptible
A
crown.
corruptible crown. They do not for, as I said before, a medal, money, house, cars, whatever benefit from that.
Nice
But
living.
go ahead.
Adam, before you go ahead, I could just tap in on the topic.
Calm.
Is it book of Proverbs chapter 2 verse 10. When wisdom entered into thy heart, and knowledge is present unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee,
That is
to
it.
deliver thee from the way of the evil man, and from the man that speaketh forward things. So when it goes to the word discretion, is mes in moi. Purpose, discretion, device or plot. Devices in brackets evil. Strong's definition, a plan. Usually evil, machination, sometimes good, sagacity, wicked, device, discretion, intent, witty invention, lewdness, mischievous, thought, and wickedly.
Calm. So you understand, we have to exercise that temperance. We have to exercise that
Plan.
because when the scripture say we are not ignorant of Satan's device, is the plan. He not just think, but the blueprint, everything that he planning to do, all that, everything. That when you go to the word device, you understand what device is. A device is not just a phone or that is technology. A device goes into everything that is he planning to do.
When I work, I say, no more call it servant but friend. You see, you reveal all the plan of the enemy to us. He reveal the plan of himself, the plan of the Yahweh and his son to us. So we know the plan what Satan coming with. You understand? We know the plan where how shall I come with to deal with Satan when he come with his plan.
And that's why we will get so much licks and so much torment if it is we really fuck up in this time again. Because I can't give you everything you need to pass the test. I give you everything you need. Everything you need to pass the test to flying colors too, eh? Not just normal, eh? You're passing it with flying colors, they get everything. They had the spirit, you know, and then they take it for granted, okay? Then you wasn't constantly asking Lord to keep it to keep the spirit on you. It wasn't chosen to begin with, you know, because
if you do these things,
that's it.
you will never fall.
The word discretion in Merriam-Webster.
Can't.
The right to choose what should be done in a particular situation. So the time of the MOTV,
That's it.
right? And leading up to it, because it talks about exercising your faith. Now, we talk about that, we mentioned going to the gym. The spiritual exercises and the different challenges that you go through, and makes you get weary along the way, right? Because what we're resisting the devil on a daily basis. Alright?
Can.
You're going to work, you're dealing with your wife, you're dealing with family, you're dealing with friends, former friends in the world, two-thirds, right? Acquaintances, right? Is an exercise in the faith. Different situations that come in, might get challenging work. Hey, they might, a demon manager might come in and say, hey, what you doing with that bed? Or where to shape that bed? And now is when you have to show your fortitude. Now you have to show your fortitude and stand firm for what you believe in. Because in that time, when the Revelation 3 and 10 comes, the hour of temptation, right? The time of
temptation.
yeah, just in Luke they talk about the time. Yeah, the time of perplexity, right? Where they're going to tell our word perplexity is perazzo, and the hour of temptation, the same root word perazzo, which means not knowing which way to choose. So yeah, discernment. The scripture talk about they that rest with judgment. To rest goes back into wrestle. No, there's no wrestle with judgment. Right is right, wrong is wrong. That way she can say let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Right? Hey, family, what you saying? You have a man or what? Nah, well, you know, I was dealing heat, but we done about 2 weeks on. Take. I don't only talk to you for the children. That woman is a possession of that man.
Yeah.
Lock it off.
But you go see why I know what them man. But we spoke now and then.
You understand? Because that's how they play talk bad manners. They play talk bad manners. I'm not serious doing it on that. Play talk bad manners. But these women out here is exactly what the scripture said. The scripture said a shameless woman be called a dog in the streets. These women shameless.
For you to know.
Right? But you have to have that discretion. Meaning let me go ahead with the meaning. The quality of being careful about what you do and say so that people will not be embarrassed or offended. The quality of being discreet. Now, we're not careful about what we say, because what we say is supposed to be the truth. And the truth enjoy forever. Right? We're careful about what we say that we don't teach you wrong thing. Right? That's why we're careful. That we don't teach you wrong thing, because we don't want that to be held against us. We should say, he that added or take it away from the word, his name shall be taken out of the book of life. You have given Psalms, real quick, Psalms, not Psalms, Proverbs 19 and 12, you see what I say? Proverbs 19 and 12.
Proverbs 19 and 12. The king's wrath is as the roaring of a lion, but his favor is as dew upon the grass. Let it be a
There's one, I'll put it up as a prayer, put it up there. It says, save me from secret sins. Put it on secret sins. You can bring a piece of paper in there.
Right, this is the book of Psalm 73 and verse 2. The Apostle Paul say it, he says, Apostle Paul, there's a prayer of Asaph, right? He said, but as for me, my feet were almost gone, my steps had well nigh slipped. And the Lord said, take the earnest heed of these things, unless you let them slip. You understand? Because he recognized within himself that he almost gone, he almost slipped. So we know how to take heed to the things that we know, unless we let them slip. Because if we let them slip, that is the day. You understand? You give up on your chance to escape, as the scripture call it. This here is an escape for the wrath that coming, for everything that coming. This is an escape. Now the Lord says, how shall we escape if we neglect such great salvation? You understand? If you're neglecting this here now, how are you going to escape? You understand? I always picture it like a wild tiger coming behind you full speed. And you running, but that you know that tiger going to come and catch you. And just so a hand like with the brother, me and the brother talking a while back, a hand just take you up and lift you up. So that is the Lord. Now you escape that tiger there because of the Lord.
Well, actually, we don't have our defense is the Lord. You don't have an Alaria. I said it this Friday on Dallas Woods, right? We don't have no guns. We don't have no army. We don't have fucking nothing. We just have the Habashim Yahshai. And what David said, the Lord is my defense.
Yeah.
Right? So in order for the Lord to defend them, they have to be straight with him. They have to conquer it. He said, he that in there, not through the door and through another way, Same as the one that thief and and he didn't know that the thief come not from us. He kills, steal, and destroy.
Right,
So here this one is, get the Psalm 19.
This is Psalms 19 from verse 12 to verse 14. Who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou me from secret
Right, there's a
faults.
question, who? Which one of us can understand our errors? You commented, and you remember you're born. And even us here, we come together as brethren under the unity of the faith. But all of us didn't grow up in the same house, we don't have the same customs, we might not even have the same etiquette. Or we had to come in our oneness through the understanding of the scriptures. Right? And sometimes you're gonna fall. Sometimes you're gonna get admonished, sometimes you're gonna get a reproof. Sometimes it might be loud and rough, sometimes it might be soft and gentle. Right? But you have to accept it, you have to man up and accept it. Why?
Verse 13. Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins.
Right, which is proud and arrogant sin. Hey, but you're proud knowing nothing. That's what the scripture talk about. Proud knowing nothing. So it's better to be humble. But one is always saying, and the man always saying this one thing, but he didn't always say. He said it this one time and it hit home. That was like a forever home run.
Yeah, God.
He said, hey, but I said, I'm one how you so humble. He said, me? He said, boy, when you low down to the ground, you know that stuff. When you low down to the ground, your heart to fall down. Yeah, I mean, you know, your heart to fall down. You dream like it might be shorter before, it might be shorter. You understand? So it's always better to be humble. Oh, Sizzla sing the song, be humble and wise, be humble and wise.
Quick one. Yeah, quick one.
Let them not have dominion over me.
Right, the secret sins.
Then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgression.
You see, then we'll be upright and it's a great transgression. So you could be teaching the wrong thing and it's a great transgression. Nate have million man IUIC.
Yeah, foot so.
But how much of them fuckers know that the mark of the beast and believe and will stand up and how about Hashem Shai is the name of the Lord and will call upon Yahweh Hashem Shai because he was always defending them, he was always delivering them, right? Throughout, so they trusted him to know that, hey, the decision to make is not to take the RFID microchip, not to take the brain chip that will work miracles, that would rehabilitate or whatever it is that or make a paraplegic walk, whatever it is. How much of them would believe in Yahweh Shem Shai and his ways, trust in his ways, and wait on him till he be revealed to their salvation? How much of them? Right? Why?
Verse 14. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Yahweh, my strength and my redeemer. Why?
Like it, on here, Sirach 2:10 it says, let's land back on where you said, we have no defense but Yahweh Shem Shai, we have no army, right? Sirach 2:10 it says, look at the generation of old and see that ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that call upon him? Jumping on to verse 13, it says, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended.
That's it. No defense for you. You didn't believe you. And that man want to jump on the bandwagon afterwards. Act like they really believe. They can't pronounce the name well, all kind of thing, because in that time the Lord will not seal that and all too. I know you're not.
There are no breaks in this prophecy.
That's it.
The scripture says, give them no rest until he makes Jerusalem a praise in the end.
That's it. The machine breaks long time now. And really and truly is because all the suckers done gone. Everybody done gone and you still machine breaks. Until there are real many we encounter being in this truth. Real men we encounter who come up and we camp and I was like, yeah, well, I was in the truth and I know this one, I know that one.
Was in the truth.
Yeah.
No man puts his hand to the plow and to the back. It's
Fitting
fitting.
the king now.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make some statement that you just read the brother just made, right? Now remember the scripture tell us not everybody who say Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom. So when the scripture talk about calling on the name of the Lord and being delivered, Psalms 51 and verse 17 answers that perfectly. The sacrifices of power are a broken spirit, A broken and a contrite heart, O power, thou will not despise. So just simply knowing the name is not enough. There's the motive behind why you call on the name. And as just rightly said earlier, some men in this truth, they learn it not for the sake of doing what's right, but for contention, for strife to lord the wisdom and the knowledge over another person.
Because, and I go to show that in another words, because you can say wisdom and temperance and malicious. So, yeah. So I have two to close up really quick. It's this is the book of this is the book of Luke, chapter 5 and verse 33. And they said unto him, why do the disciples of John fast often and make prayers, and likewise the disciples of the Pharisees, but thine eat and drink? And he said unto them, can ye make the children of the bride chamber fast, while the bridegroom is with them? He said, but the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken away from them, and then shall they fast in those days. Right? And those days is speaking about the Lord, right? Because we are waiting Yahushua, our deliverer and our Lord, and the one. It says 2 Timothy 2 and 21. If any man therefore purge himself from these, he shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified, and met for the master's use, prepared unto every good work. So we talk about that tree planted by the living water, being fed, right? In wastewater treatment, a stagnant water is a dead water, a live water is living water. When you have wastewater treatment, right? The last form of treatment is called tertiary treatment, where after you treat it and remove all the solids, you add it back into the natural water courses. If it is dead water or poisonous, it will kill, obviously it will kill the aquatic life. But what it will do, if it is a good, the treatment process was good, when you add it back to the aquatic life, right? The algae, sunlight and whatever bacteria inside there will help finish, kill off the bad bacteria, and life will continue, actually prosper and thrive, right? You have bigger fish. And the mouth of the affluent chamber, you have bigger fish. And this is it. A flowing water is a live and living water. Right? And it should be obvious now where the fountains of living waters are at this present time. Right? So with that, we pray that the lesson was edifying. We give all praises, all and all glory to
Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakakadash.
our apostles and elders have been who shall do well or teach us, who are worthy of double honors. Shalom to the elect.
Shalom to the elect.
Shalom to the elect.